Good afternoon. Welcome to this grand day of opportunities, possibilities, miracles, and choices. I greet you today with the greetings of respect. And thank you for taking this time to share together in this special mindful moment. As some of you know, I just came back from San Francisco last night, and I am full. Every time I come from doing an event, sharing time with people, I'm full and excited. I'm going to try and stay within a short amount of time to share the things that I want to share with you today. So thank you for passing on the last message that we had about everything that we were talking about. I have to remember what that point was exactly. I made a note of it right here. What were we talking about? Oh, wow. Yeah, hear what I'm not saying. How did you do with that? Did you become a listening ear for someone else to help them be able to let down their mask? How did you do with that part? How did you do with letting your mask down? I'm glad that you shared the messages. You gave me some good feedback. That's very encouraging for me, so I thank you for that. Let's get into our relaxing and breathing. Let's just take a moment together to just breathe together. Would you count with me? Count to 7. Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The act of counting, thank you for those who joined. The act of counting settles us down sometimes. The act of being present in the moment, activating all of our senses, settles us down. The time that we take conscious attention to our breathing, our inhale and our exhaling, settles us down. The moments that we can reflect on positive people who are in our life to help us manage through difficult moments, or positive things that we can do to manage through difficult moments, or places that we can go. Extremely powerful to be still. 7 seconds. It's all that it takes. Just a second to recatch, to rebalance ourselves. That's a good segue for us. You have your other tools of relaxation. Please continue to use those, especially if they're working. If you find that it's not working or you want to try something different, experiment and evaluate to see if it works to help you find your center, because something's going to happen suddenly or eventually that'll throw you off your balance. I want you to be able to be settled again. I don't know if I'm going to see you again or you're going to see me, but I want you to have something that's going to help you manage through those difficult moments. It's a perfect segue to our mindful moment today. Benjamin Elijah Mays is credited with having done this piece. And if you've ever heard me do I Have a Dream of King's Journey or some other thing, you've heard me repeat this a few times. This is our mindful moment foundation today. It's called I Only Have a Minute. Only have a minute. Only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. I didn't seek it. I didn't choose it. But it is up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but all eternity is wrapped up in it. It's the power of a minute. We have that minute, that responsibility, that one piece of time that we have. And as we use 7 seconds earlier, did you know that every second 2 people die and 4 people are born? Every second that happens. Sometimes people have chosen to die because they've given up on the things that they're passionate about. You only have a minute. And it seems like it was just a minute that things have gone by and time has gone so fast for some. It was a minute when you were in grade school, a minute ago. It was a minute ago when you went to high school, had your first prom, right? A minute ago that you drove for the first time, met your first boyfriend, your first girlfriend, first time you flew on a plane. It was a minute ago when you learned how to ride a bicycle. It was just a minute ago when your knees weren't bothering you so bad, right? And your back wasn't bothering you. You didn't have to get up and stretch as much. Just a minute ago, Those things were different, and time has changed just in an instant. What are you doing with the minutes that you have that's available? Are you letting them escape you? To bring this into focus, I'm going to give you an example that me and a buddy of mine, we used to talk a whole lot. His name is Malcolm Johnson. We used to refer to the life as being in an amusement park. So think about this. The day that you were born, you were given an all-access pass into the amusement park of life, with multiple opportunities and possibilities and choices of all kinds of places you could go and things you could do and experiences you could have, an all-access pass into the amusement park of life. But there were gatekeepers at the entrance. The day that you were born, even though you had this all-access pass, the people who were responsible for loving you and caring for you started telling you how you should use that all-access pass. And they said, now listen, you don't want to get on that ride over there. You don't want to do that. You don't want to marry this kind of person. And these are the kind of people you should spend your time with. And this is where you should live. And if you're a boy, you should do this. And if you're a girl, you should do that. And never do these kinds of things. And this is the religion that you should be a part of. And don't marry this person and never trust that one. And they give us all these restrictions that we didn't choose, but we absorbed during our infancy before we had developed analytical thinking, and later on in life we just agreed to continue doing those things, and we limited our movement in the all-access pass of life. And so some have chosen to sit on the bench in the amusement park and be critical of other people. Look at them. I don't know why they're living their life like that. If I were them, I'd just sit over here. Look at that person taking all those chances and things like that. Some people sit out there very critically judging other people. See, the only thing that you're guaranteed in the amusement park of life is that you're going to be here for a certain amount of time. You'll be able to expand and explore, and eventually you're going to leave the park. It's going to seem like just a minute. It was a minute ago all your family was together, and today some of your family members are missing, aren't they? Just a minute ago. So there's some people who live their life in the amusement park of life by taking gambles. You see them at the amusement park taking chances, and they try to put that little penny on the top of the thing there, and so they can win the prize, and they're very daring, and they try to throw that little ball and knock those bowling pins down. And in life they're trying that new job, and they're traveling to new places, and they're trying to build a new business, or they're trying to shape their life differently, and they're doing very daring things through life. While some others are sitting back watching and being critical. I don't see why you are using your ticket like that. In fact, there are some people who say, I hear, somewhere I read, or I heard someone say that there's a bigger park, and you can get to it after you leave this park. So I'm not going to enjoy any of the things that's available to me. I'm not going to take advantage of any opportunities, any possibilities, because I'm waiting to see what happens once I leave here and get to that other park, even though you've not met anybody who's been outside the park and lived in a grander place, but you heard it said, and you may have even read somewhere. How are you living your life? Then some people in the amusement park of life see others walking around with certain things. You ever see people walk around with somebody like this fella here? And you say, oh, I'd like to have one of those fellas right there. He looks so nice. I'd like to carry one. And that looks like a person who has a car. I'd like to have a car like that. Or maybe I'd like to get that new phone. Or, wow, wouldn't it be nice if I had that house? Or they look at the things that other people are carrying around, their possessions that they have, and say, oh, look, he think he's something because he's got a new toy. But you don't know what that person had to sacrifice to get that, do you? You don't know how many little pennies or dimes they had to throw on that little glass, what sacrifices they had to make, what things they had to give up in terms of time and association and friends to be able to get the luxuries that you see them walking around with. But yet you're envious of somebody else and what they're doing in the park. There are others who go around in the park and say, listen, this is the best thing that you should do. And they stay in one same area and never go outside. Did you know that most people live and die within 50 miles of where they were born? Because it's familiar, because it's comfortable, because it's scary to go into unknown places and do unknown things. So they just stay in that one little area of the park and do the same things over and over and over again, even though there's a world of opportunities and possibilities out there if you're brave and bold enough to experiment and experience and evaluate the things that are out there that's possible, that is available to you. So what I encourage you to do is look for opportunities to expand and explore in the amusement park of life. There are miraculous things that's happening all around, grand experiences, new people, new places to go. Consider exploring and examining some of those opportunities. Talk to someone else who has experimented in areas of the amusement park of life different than you and see if it becomes interesting. See, it's something that maybe you might try, because you see, you only have a minute. Before you know it, your amusement park ticket's going to expire. Before you know it, it will not be as effective as it is, and you won't be able to do some of the things you did early in your life. Some of you even know there were things that you could do younger because your ticket was strong and powerful, and you could access certain things and do daring stuff that now you're not quite able to do because your access pass is starting to wear thin. You only have a minute. I encourage you to consider the possibilities of what your life would be like if you expanded the idea of choices that's available to you inside of this park of life, the new places that you go. Consider what those possibilities might be like. Consider the possibility of connecting with someone else who also shares that same enthusiasm, that same passion, that same excitement for going through life. Consider the possibility of what that might be like. And lastly, I encourage you to expect and experience the miraculous joys and the pleasurable things that will happen as you expand in your conscious awakening. You become more present and mindful in your moments. I am so thankful that you've taken this time to share with me today and my companion. I hope that you do travel well and enjoy your journey in the amusement park of life. Travel well. Until the next time, respect.